See how fast I can bust out some levels on this character.
I'm happy to let you know. Exciting.
Lenora, I solved the mystery of that painting.
You did? How?
I'm afraid I can't tell you, Lenora.
Surely you jest.
You should have worked it out on your own.
You have nerve. Especially since I'm the one who told you about it in the first place. Imagine solving a riddle that I mentioned and then not telling me the answer.
Revelio.
You're competing with Imelda to see who's a more infuriating know-it-all.
I'm still struggling.
Revelio.
And why is she always holding this? I've seen this.
You can't help serves him right for talking about leather before second-hand robes. Looks like her grandmother and smells like her too.
Revelio.
Scoundrel! I do not pay for all your small things to be rewarded with a house full of hexes! Your father's in St. Mungo's to get portrait!
Revelio. 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 Revelio.
Dear,
Revelio.
do you mind the tiles? Some of them can be most...
Lumos.
If you step in the wrong place and become engulfed in a stench. Even Ferdinand Octavius Pratt gets hung pride of place, and here's me in a stink. I should demand a rehanging.
Revelio.
One bad whiff here and there's an outcry.
Revelio. Lumos. Off on another adventure, are we? Revelio.
This game's the best one ever! Whee!
Off to capture Hogshead, I presume.
Revelio. 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 Revelio.
And then the werewolves join the goblins in the upright.
Werewolves!
And by the end of it, the magic was Albert Boot.
No, it wasn't.
Oh, what fun! I won't say my goodbyes. I shall cheer for the boy who says you're telling
I'm
lies.
not telling lies, Peeves. It was Albert Boot.
No, it wasn't. It was Basil Flack.
Oh, fight, fight! It's a bold attack. Was the minister a boot or the minister a flack?
Stop it, Peeves. You'll get us in trouble.
In trouble you will be, but you can't get Pete to smack. She says it's a boot, and he says it's a flack.
Peeves, enough. You'll get us all detention.
It wasn't boot and it wasn't flack, but you're all in trouble with Professor Black.
Life seems rather dull in the house.
Here. Behind you. There is an open seat here. Thank you. Hello, I am Nettie. So you are the new student. Have you met Professor Ronan yet?
Shall we begin? Welcome to Year 5 of Charms. Now, this will be a crucial year in your education on the art of charm work. But I am confident that we will take hold with the passion and rigor requisite of such a challenge. Right, now, everyone, please open your textbooks to page 517. But before we begin, can anyone here tell me the difference between the incantations of the color change and growth charms? Anyone? Anyone? I am afraid it is too late to study now. My, the summer months must have really taken a toll on you all. By the looks of it, you all spent your holidays practicing Obliviate on one another. Do you even remember how to perform a basic summoning charm? Well, it seems that we are in dire need of review. Everyone get into pairs and take positions on opposite sides of the classroom. Now let's put those textbooks to use as the blunt objects you so believe they are, and take turns summoning them out of one another's hands. Only one book will be needed per partnership, Miss Dale. Thank you. Get into place now.
Accio. That is not bad.
You are a swift learner. I see a lot of potential, but remember, potential is nothing without practice. Keep at it. You might just rival Miss Onai here. Very good, everyone. That's enough of that. Well, as you all seem to have the basics down, and it is an exceptionally lovely day, I was thinking that we might have ourselves a little excursion outside for a spot of fresh air. After me. I've always found that fun goes hand in hand with mastery, as I'm sure the Quidditch players amongst us would agree. So, what better than a bit of sport to put our prowess with the summoning charm to the test, right? So why don't we have our newest student start us off? Very simply, cast Accio on one of the spheres and relinquish your charm at the last possible moment. Now, think of this like gobstones, if you will. But instead of throwing the marbles out, you are summoning them toward you. The trick is to pull the sphere as far as possible, but not a bit more, or it'll fall, yes? Now, I could keep talking about theory all day, but practice is the best professor. Show us how it's done. Very good. Splendid! Excellent control there. Very good. Points to Ravenclaw. But there's certainly no sport in playing without some friendly competition. Miss Onai, would you care to give our new student a bit of a challenge? Come on up. You'll be the blues, just as before, and Miss Onai, you are playing red. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Let us see this. That is how it's done. Here.
Very good.
Watch this.
Yes!
Quite impressive. Lisa. Phew.
A perfect score. Remarkable. Let us make this a bit more interesting, shall we?
I think we are well past interesting at this point.
I'll say.
Enough chatter. Focus now. You will need it. This round settles it all.
Here we go!
That is how it's done.
Not to worry.
Watch this.
Yes!
sharp. There we go. Nicely done.
Very good, both of you. Well done. Class is dismissed. Gather your things on the way out.
Good game back there. I must admit, I think I underestimated you. Took me weeks to become proficient with Accio. Took weeks for me to get anything right when I transferred here. It gets easier, I promise.
Thank you, but I've been holding my own.
I appreciate your confidence. I transferred here from Wagadu just before my 4th year. My mother received an offer to teach divination here. Before I knew it, we had left Uganda and were halfway around the world at a new school in a new country.
Well, it's been nice talking and competing with you.
And with you. Ah, I think Professor Ronan wants to talk to you. Better not keep him waiting. Until next time.
Of course, you can
A word,
use Accio
if you
on
would.
humans,
Revelio.
if you're so inclined.
Well, you'd be using it on clothing, to be precise, Beth.
You wanted to speak with me, Professor?
I did. I trust your first charms lesson lived up to expectation?
Well, an outdoor competition wasn't exactly the lesson I was expecting, sir.
What charm is there in the expected? You did well, managing to best as gifted a student as Miss Onai.
Thank you, Professor. I enjoyed the match.
Miss Onai is always a fierce competitor, though I sense that she is a bit distracted of late. Now, Professor Weasley has asked that your professors give you instruction outside of the ordinary curriculum. Expect to hear from me soon regarding a special assignment that I am preparing for you.
Hello. How was your first day coming along?
Hello, Samantha. Nice to see you again.
I wondered how your first day was going. You certainly seem to hold your own in charms.
I've been fortunate. Beginner's luck.
My brother William would tell you not to be so humble and to trust your abilities. Then again, he tends to be overconfident in his. Well, better see to my charms homework. I'm afraid I can't count on beginner's luck to impress Professor Ronan.
Quite a few Hamlets outside of Hogwarts.
Revelio.
I should like to retire to
Revelio.
If Hogwarts survives the reign of this headmaster, I think we should have a mooncalf in charge.
Please do be mindful where you walk, won't you?
Revelio. Revelio. Protego.
Solving a riddle that I meant.
Revelio.
I wish I'd been painted in my nightgown.
I'm not entirely agreeing with what you're saying.
I don't mind saying that.
Revelio.
Oh.
I've been meaning to ask you. You wouldn't have an extra quill I can borrow, would you?
Revelio. Lumos.
Someone must have been up late studying. I hope.
Revelio. 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 Revelio.
It's very disrespectful not to be in your uniform.
I'm much interested, Anthony.
Imagine solving a riddle that I mentioned and then not telling me the answer.
I really have made a mess of things.
Is everything all right?
Oh, hello. Thank you for asking. I'm Cressida, by the way, and I'm afraid everything's not all right. I may be in a spot of trouble with the librarian. You see, I'm fond of creating my own charms. Thought I'd perfected my light as a feather charm to use on my library books. My arms get so tired carrying them around all day. But I must have confused the Latin word for feather with bird in my incantation, because when I opened my bag just now in the library, they literally took flight.
That sounds a rather complicated way to simply avoid carrying your books.
Possibly. But where's the fun in simplicity? New charms and spells have to come from someone. Why not me? I collect the books and remove the charm myself, except this isn't the first time one of my charms has threatened the peace of the library. Our meet told Madame Scribner they were my books flying around, so she said that if I caused her any more trouble, she'd write to my parents. Perhaps you could get them for me. There are only 5. She won't be suspicious of a new student looking around.
I suppose I could help if I have the time.
Oh, I'd very much appreciate it. One of the books is my diary. I'd rather it not fall into the wrong hands. If you could collect them and bring them to me, I can remove the charm.
I'm going to have to use Accio. Got it. Only 4 more to go. This must be Cressida's diary. I'd want this back too if I were her. Accio! Revelio. 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 Accio! That's the last book. Now to take them back to Cressida.
Oh. Distracting myself.
Hello, Cressida. I collected your books, including your diary.
Oh, what a relief. Thank you. I'll happily take the heavy lot off your hands now.
Unless you want your classmates to know how you really feel about them, you might reward me for my time.
Oh, you're not at all who I thought you to be.
And you're not who I thought you to be. Based upon your diary, you seem terribly judgmental.
Fine. I shall pay you. But you cannot begin to imagine what I shall be writing about you next. Should never have trusted them.
Imagine solving a riddle that
Velia.
I mentioned and then not telling me the answer. Practically competing with Imelda to see who's a more infuriating know-it-all.
Is Lower Hogsfield still feeling
Revelio.
I think there were doxy eggs as well. But surely those were curdled.
If someone would
Revelio.
part fertilizers coming up, I'd be very grateful. That one would definitely feign a bit of crack.
I need to catch up on my letter writing. I'm getting cobwebs.
It's tradition in my family.
Revelio.
Whee! Here I've come from the toilet bowl where she said I could swim, did you praxia mole? And not for only time a week I can flush the boy's lavatory, not for the meek. He tried to stop me.
Revelio.
Stop a moment and listen to our song.
Revelio.
I'd like to open a shop.
Revelio. Revelio. Revelio.
Oh, I see you're not dressed.
Revelio. Revelio. Lumos. Revelio. Lumos. Revelio. Lumos.
Shameful display. Get some clothes on.
Yeah, I know. I walked past that thing like 4 times.
Revelio. Revelio. Revelio.
Is that all you've got?
Levioso!
Professor Hecat!
Perhaps you'd be good enough to blast each other to pieces in your own time. I get new students every year, but I only have one Hebridean black skull. It was a token from the Great Poacher Raid of 1878. No doubt you've heard of it. Now, you may be asking yourself how an old woman like me single-handedly took out the largest poacher ring in eastern Wales and lived to boast about it. Knowledge. To the wise, age matters very little. Today we will review a spell that has saved me from death at the hands of dark wizards more times than I care to remember. Levioso.
Levioso? A levitation charm?
Levioso! A surprised opponent is a weak opponent. Care to defend yourself, Master Pruitt? No? One thing I've learned as an unspeakable is the value of simplicity, especially in the heat of battle. Now, let's practice what we've just learned, starting with something small.
Levioso.
Now, let's try something a little larger. Let us begin with the basic cast. See how the dummy deflected your cast? This time, cast Levioso first, then the basic cast. Remember, a surprised opponent is a weak Levioso. So, now, well done.
Levioso.
Very good. But the best way to practice is by dueling. We'll start with you two. Duelists, take your marks.
Time for a proper Hogwarts welcome.
Now, I want a fair duel, using only Levioso, basic cast, and Protego. You may begin.
This should be easy.
Stupid.
Protego complicates things.
Levioso.
Lucky.
Nothing lucky about it.
Levioso!
Stupid. Stupid. You're good.
How perceptive. Thank you.
Rather good at this, aren't you?
I know. Good form.
I know.
Levioso!
Take it. Stupefy. Levioso.
This can't be your first duel.
Let's just say, if only all of my students were this adept.
Not bad for a beginner. You give as good as you get.
I put you on the spot, and you rose to the challenge. Points to Ravenclaw.
Thank you, Professor Hecat. Glad to have the opportunity to practice.
If what I've seen today is any indication, we can expect great things from you. I demand excellence from my students. They are capable of achieving it, and they must achieve it. A classroom duel is one thing, but battling dark wizards, or as ever more likely, goblins, is a different kettle of Grindylows entirely.
Understood, Professor.
So, I'd advise you to keep practicing whenever you can. Perhaps Mr. Sallow will have some ideas for you. Again, well done today. I shall reach out soon with additional assignments. All right. That's enough spectacle for one day. Class is dismissed.
Oh, I'm not much for dueling. I prefer to keep things friendly.
I'd hate to face Professor Hecat in a duel.
If you know the right spells, it's dark wizards that'll fear you, not the other way around.
You dueled Sebastian. He's strong competition. Well done.
Alright, we'll continue this in the next one.